You did mention about making sure there is good communication, and you had mentioned about we talked about something like the talking stick. Do you mind telling us more about that talking stick and how it might help couples in establish a good communication?
Absolutely. So I have my talking stick right here, and I keep it in the office.
Okay.
So I like to work with a couple for like 2 hours.
Okay.
My first session is 2 hours because I want to see their dynamic, and I want to accomplish something. So when they leave, they have hope, and they have assignments, how they need to start treating each other differently. So I first let the dynamic go, and I see if they interrupt each other, if they start arguing. It's important that I just see them in the naturalness. Then what a talking stick does, this comes from the shamanic tradition. It slows a conversation down, and it allows us to listen to what the other person is saying. And I'll explain this particular talking stick, that I made this, but there's different ones that have been taken into boardrooms, where they're very small, they fit in a briefcase. They've been taken into classrooms to teach children how to, if they're unhappy, that they get the talking stick, they can go to the teacher, and so they're taught how to use this. This is if there is a home with children, it's put on the west wall. The west is a place of death and change. And the smallest little one, the smallest toddler, it has to be low enough so they can get it. And usually there's toys hanging off of it because they need to put something on it. So a talking stick, first of all, has the mineral world, which is a crystal, the plant world, which is the tree, the sweet medicine animal world. On this one, this is wolf. And the wolf is the keeper of the family. It's one of the few mammals that mates for life. And this is rabbit. And the rabbit is soft and beautiful and feeds the wolf. So we have the circle of life here. So what you do is when you hold the talking stick, you plant it. Because usually, if I'm picking up the talking stick, I might be really upset, and I might be having a hard time, and then I plant it, and I ground down, and I say, okay, let me speak, my truth. And once I have it, I will find my partner. The way it starts is I hold the talking stick first. I connect to the ground. I need to ground down because this came from the tree. So the roots are deep. I want to ground down. I want to get my one point. I want to be solid in what I have to say. And the branches reach high into the sky. So I want to connect to God. I want to connect to spirit, to have the grounded and yet the spiritual. And I might say something like, this morning, when you went into the garage, I told you I needed to talk to you. And you said, okay. But then I haven't seen you for hours and I'm really upset. And then that's all. So then I take the talking stick and I present it to you. Put your hands on the inside. So you're going to put your hands like this and like this, and mine are here. Look at me. We take a breath together. And we're looking eyes with the window of the souls. Then you take the talking stick and you ground yourself. And you say, Ina, what I heard you say was?
Ina, what I heard you say was, it seems to me like you wanted to talk to me, but I did not have the time, and as of right now, you feel upset about that. Does that seem accurate?
And then we hold it. I say, yes, that was accurate. And I have more to say. And then I would say the next paragraph or two. Some men, my husband, I say a sentence or two. It slows the discussion way down. And we pass it back and forth until I'm done. And I'm heard. Then I say, I'm complete. And then I hand you the talking stick again, and we breathe. And you ground. And then I say, what do you need to say to me?
Ina, what I heard you say is that you felt upset that I did not come talk to you on time. In the future, I will definitely make sure to let you know if something else comes up or if I'm not immediately available. But definitely make sure that I talk to you, because I know that your concerns are a priority to myself as well. Does that sound like a solution to this problem?
That was accurate.
Okay.
That was accurate.
So-
And you asked me a question, so because you asked me a question,
keep
you
going.
need to hand me the talking
Oh,
stick back.
Okay.
And again, eye to eye, and then I take it. I say, what I heard you say was, and it was accurate,
Okay.
that my feelings got hurt,
Okay.
and that in the future you would try and talk with me or make time or let me know, and that it's important to you too.
Yes.
And then you asked me if I'm good with that.
Yes. Are
So
you good with that?
yes,
Okay.
yes. So